Daniel sits in front of the producer and admits he was trying to date an American woman. No excuses, no confusion. He says he got caught, that he wanted a path to the United States through someone like Lisa. Then, minutes later, Lisa sits on the same bed, wiping away her own tears, telling herself she will forgive him. She has seen messages from another woman, heard warnings for months, watched him deny everything, then suddenly change his story, and still she stays. So why does a woman who knows she has been lied to decide to hold on even tighter? This is not a simple love story. This is two people who trade forgiveness like currency, both scared of losing what the other person offers. He wants a ticket to America. She wants to feel chosen, special, different from the other women he messaged. Once you see how both of them twist the truth to protect themselves, you will want to know every step that led to this one confession and one unbelievable decision. Lisa sits alone at the hotel pool, sunglasses on, but you can tell her mind is not relaxed at all. The night before is replaying in her head on a loop. Dinner with Daniel's friends was supposed to be cute, a welcome party, a chance for her to feel accepted in his world. Instead, every compliment they gave her sounded less like love and more like a receipt. They kept talking about how much she had changed Daniel's life, how different things are for him now, how far he has come since she entered the picture. None of that was about feelings. All of it was about money, lifestyle, opportunity. The more his friends praised her for what she pays for, the harder it becomes to pretend this is only about romance. On top of that, the clock is ticking in a brutal way. Lisa has 3 weeks in this country to decide if she is going to marry this man or walk away. 3 weeks to judge a long-distance relationship that has already cost her time, emotions, and a lot of cash. She came here wanting a love story, not a reminder that she might be a walking credit card. When his friends smiled and talked about how Daniel has changed because of her help, it was like they were reading out a financial statement. It sounded proud on the surface, but underneath there was a clear message. Without Lisa, Daniel does not have this future. Without Lisa, the dream stops. Once you start hearing your relationship described like a before and after money makeover, you cannot unhear the warning in it. What makes all of this heavier is what happened the day before, when Daniel saw Lisa without her wig for the first time. That moment was short, but it hit her hard. His face changed, his body language shifted, and for a second, all the sweet words disappeared and you saw raw surprise, maybe even disappointment. She tried to laugh it off and move on, but it cut deep. For someone who already feels insecure about age, looks, and being an American woman flying across the world, that tiny reaction felt huge. It is one thing when strangers online judge you. It is another when your own partner cannot hide his shock when he sees the real you. That split second of honest reaction from Daniel planted a seed Lisa cannot ignore anymore, no matter how badly she wants this to work. So now, as she sits at the pool, all of those pieces are stacking up in her mind. The money she has sent him, the pressure of the visa timeline, the way his friends talk about her like an investor instead of a fiancé, the way he reacted when the wig came off and the filter dropped. She starts to ask herself the question everyone back home has already been asking. Is he with me because of who I am, or because of what I provide and where I live? She has been defending this relationship for months, calling other people negative, saying they do not understand their love story. Today, for the first time, she is not sure she understands it either. When the story you have been telling everyone else stops fully convincing you, that is the first crack in the fantasy. And then there is that other thing she keeps pushing to the back of her mind. Another American woman who once reached out, warning her about Daniel, sending screenshots of messages, saying she had been talking to him too. At the time, Lisa brushed it aside, told herself that woman was jealous or bitter or trying to ruin her happiness. She decided to trust Daniel, because trusting him felt safer than admitting she might be getting played. But as she sits there now, the memory of those messages feels less like drama and more like evidence she ignored. She does not know it yet, but that other woman is about to become the center of this entire trip. Anytime you have to mentally push away proof so you can keep loving someone, your heart and your head are already at war. While Lisa is lost in all these thoughts, Daniel walks out to the pool area acting like nothing is wrong. He sits next to her, reaches for her, tries to be affectionate. He can sense the mood shift though. She is quiet, stiff, not the same woman who landed all excited a short time ago. To fix it, he turns on the charm and tells her she can ask him anything, that he has nothing to hide, that his heart is open and honest. On the surface, it sounds comforting. For Lisa, who is desperate for reassurance, it is an opening she has been waiting for. She takes a breath, looks at him, and decides to finally bring up that other American woman. And this is the moment where his words and his actions are about to completely collide. When someone insists they have nothing to hide right before you confront them with receipts, you know the calm is about to shatter. Lisa looks Daniel in the eye and asks about the other American woman. The question hangs in the air, heavy and sharp. Daniel's face doesn't flinch, but his eyes dart for a split second. He says he doesn't know what she's talking about. He claims he's never spoken to any other American woman. The denial is instant, almost rehearsed. Lisa's heart drops. She remembers last night, sitting with his friends, hearing Daniel admit he had talked to another woman from the States. Less than 12 hours ago, he was laughing about it, saying she was the one chasing him. Now, in the daylight, with only Lisa watching, he acts like it never happened. When someone rewrites history right in front of you, it's not confusion, it's a strategy. Lisa pushes back. She reminds him of what he said in front of his friends. Daniel shakes his head, says she must have misunderstood. He asks for proof. He wants to see the messages, the screenshots, anything that can back up her claim. Lisa feels her stomach twist. She changed her phone a few weeks ago and lost all the old messages. She tells him that. Daniel's relief is almost visible. He leans back, shrugs, says if there's no proof, there's nothing to talk about. This is the moment where denial turns into gaslighting. He's not just denying the past, he's trying to make Lisa doubt her own memory. Lisa refuses to let it go. She pulls up the woman's profile picture on her phone and shows it to Daniel. He glances at it, shakes his head, says he's never seen her before in his life. Lisa's hands start to shake. She knows what she saw, she knows what she heard. But Daniel is so calm, so certain, that for a second, she wonders if she's losing her mind. She asks if he wants her to message the woman right now. Daniel says go ahead, as if he's calling her bluff. Lisa's voice cracks as she says she will. She walks away from the pool, tears stinging her eyes, her whole body tense. When you're forced to prove reality to someone who already knows the truth, it's not about evidence, it's about power. Back in the hotel room, Lisa's hands are shaking as she types out a message to the other woman. She tells her what's happening, asks if she still has the screenshots, begs for any proof. She feels exposed, desperate, angry at herself for deleting the messages, angry at Daniel for making her beg for the truth. She waits, pacing the room, checking her phone every few seconds. Daniel stays outside, giving her space, but she can feel his presence like a weight pressing down on her. This is the kind of anxiety that makes you question everything. Your judgment, your memory, your worth. The reply comes faster than Lisa expects. The other woman says she deleted the screenshots too, but she remembers everything. She tells Lisa that Daniel acted like he cared about her, that he was sweet and attentive, that he made promises. She says she reached out to Lisa because she didn't want another woman to get hurt. She warns Lisa not to marry him, says he's lying, says she deserves better. Lisa reads the messages over and over, her anger building with every word. She feels vindicated and humiliated at the same time. When a stranger confirms your worst fears, it's both a relief and a heartbreak. Lisa sits on the edge of the bed, tears streaming down her face. She calls herself an idiot for deleting the screenshots, for trusting Daniel, for ignoring the warnings. She thinks about all the times she defended him, all the times she told herself this was real. Now, with the truth staring her in the face, she feels foolish and alone. But even as the pain hits, a new feeling starts to creep in. Defiance. She's angry, not just at Daniel, but at herself for letting it get this far. Sometimes the moment you hit rock bottom is the moment you start to fight back. Daniel finally comes back to the room, acting concerned, asking if she's okay. Lisa doesn't answer. She shows him the messages from the other woman. Daniel's face changes. For a second, he looks caught, but then he recovers. He says the woman is lying, that she's jealous, that she's trying to ruin what they have. Lisa doesn't buy it. She tells him she's done, that she can't trust him, that she's leaving. Daniel begs her to stay, says he loves her, says he made a mistake. Lisa doesn't move. She's furious, heartbroken, and more confused than ever. But here's the twist. Lisa's anger won't last. Something inside her is about to shift, and when it does, you'll see a side of her you never expected. If you think this is where Lisa finally walks away, think again. The next move she makes will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about her. Lisa sits on the edge of the bed, her phone still in her hand, the other woman's messages echoing in her mind. She wipes her face, takes a shaky breath, and then, almost unbelievably, starts to rationalize what just happened. She tells herself maybe Daniel was talking to a lot of American women, maybe he was searching for someone to build a future with, and maybe, just maybe, she's the one he picked. Instead of seeing his betrayal as a deal breaker, she twists it into a compliment. Out of all the women he could have chosen, he chose her. The logic is wild, but in this moment, it's the only way she can make sense of the pain. When someone turns heartbreak into a badge of honor, you know the story is about to take a turn you never saw coming. Daniel walks back into the room, his face a mix of worry and calculation. He sees Lisa's phone, sees the messages, and for a split second, he looks trapped. But then, as if flipping a switch, he changes his story. Suddenly, he remembers the woman. He says her profile picture is different now. That's why he didn't recognize her before. He blames Lisa for showing him the wrong photo, making it her fault that he lied. The contradiction is glaring. Less than an hour ago, he swore he never spoke to any American woman. Now he remembers this one in detail. When someone's story changes this fast, it's not about the truth, it's about survival. Lisa listens, her face unreadable. She knows he's lying. She knows he's scrambling. But she doesn't call him out. Instead, she lets him talk, lets him spin his story, lets him beg for forgiveness. Daniel turns on the charm, his voice soft, his eyes wide, promising her that she's the only one who matters. He says he made a mistake, that he was confused, that he didn't want to hurt her. He begs her not to let this ruin what they have. The performance is almost convincing, but Lisa isn't fooled. She's not forgiving him because she believes him. She's forgiving him because she needs him to forgive her later. When forgiveness becomes a bargaining chip, trust is already gone. Daniel sits down with the production crew and for the first time admits what he's been doing. He says he was trying to date an American woman, that he got caught, that he didn't want to hurt Lisa, but he was looking for a way to change his life. The confession is blunt, almost cold. He doesn't apologize for the lie, he apologizes for getting caught. Lisa watches this play out, and instead of feeling betrayed, she feels relief. Now, everything is out in the open. Now, she can stop pretending. When the truth finally comes out, sometimes it's not a relief, it's a resignation. Lisa's logic is simple. She has secrets too. Big ones. Secrets that make Daniel's lie look small. She tells herself if she forgives him now, he'll have to forgive her later. It's not about love. It's about leverage. She's already thinking ahead, planning for the day when her own truth comes out. She needs Daniel to owe her, to remember this moment, to be grateful for her forgiveness. In her mind, this is how you survive a relationship built on shaky ground. When both people are hiding something, forgiveness isn't a gift, it's insurance. The room is quiet now, the storm has passed, but nothing is resolved. Lisa and Daniel sit together, both pretending to move on, both knowing the real conversation hasn't happened yet. They smile for the cameras, hold hands, act like everything is fine. But underneath, the tension is thicker than ever. Lisa's secrets are still buried, waiting to surface. Daniel's motives are still questionable, no matter how many times he says he loves her. If you think Daniel's lie was the biggest secret in this relationship, you're about to be shocked. Lisa's truth is coming, and when it does, everything you thought you knew about this couple will change. Lisa's secrets don't stay buried for long. The truth comes out, and it's bigger than anyone expected. She's still legally married, not to a man, but to a woman back in the States. She's been hiding this for years, telling herself it's all in the past, but the paperwork says otherwise. She's lied about her relationship status, about her history, about the life she left behind, and while she's been sending Daniel money, getting deeper into debt, she's been telling herself it's all for love. But love built on secrets is always shaky. When you say your secrets are from the past, but your marriage is still active, the line between old lies and new ones disappears. Daniel's not the only one playing games. Lisa's been running her own. She told Daniel she was single, ready for a new start, but she never mentioned the spouse waiting back home. She said her secrets were harmless, that they didn't matter anymore. But being married isn't a detail you forget. It's a choice you make every day you don't tell the truth. And now, with everything out in the open, the double standard is impossible to ignore. Daniel lied about other women. Lisa lied about her entire life. Both of them have been pretending, both hoping the other wouldn't notice. When both sides are hiding, trust isn't just broken, it's never existed. Fans online are split. Some say Lisa's lies are worse, that she's been leading Daniel on from the start. Others say Daniel's only in it for the visa, that he never cared about Lisa at all. Social media is full of hot takes, memes, and debates. People are asking, would you forgive Daniel if you were in Lisa's shoes? Would you tell your partner if you were still married? At what point does a relationship become too toxic to save? These aren't easy questions, but they're the ones this story forces you to face. When a relationship is built on lies, every truth feels like a betrayal. In the end, Lisa and Daniel stay together. Not because they've forgiven each other, but because they need each other. Lisa wants companionship, someone to choose her, someone to make her feel special. Daniel wants a future in America, a chance at a new life. They both know the truth now, but neither is willing to walk away. Because leaving would mean admitting they were wrong, that the whole thing was a mistake. And sometimes, holding on to the fantasy feels safer than facing reality. When nobody wins but nobody leaves, you know the story isn't over. So what happens when Daniel finds out the full truth about Lisa's marriage? How will he react when he realizes he's not the only one with secrets? Next time, the tables turn and the fallout is even messier. If you thought this episode was wild, wait until you see what happens when Lisa's past finally catches up with her. You won't want to miss the next chapter, because the biggest shock is still to come.